Tonight on KGW News, firefighters rush to save a historic McMenamins Lodge as intense flames break out. Plus, the big ruling giving the Beavers and Cougs all the power over what's left of the Pac-12. Then later,
these cameras are just getting more and more sophisticated.
Nearly half of all online reviews are straight up fake. How to spot the real customers from the frauds. And it's the most wonderful time of the year on this Southeast Portland street.
People go, oh, you live on Peacock Lane? It's instant, boom, Christmas lights.
Crowds flock to Peacock Lane for the first night of the season. And first at 11, a breaking traffic alert for you. There's a big backup on I-205 North on the Glen Jackson Bridge. This is a live look at traffic right now going over Government Island. Police report a person in crisis is blocking the middle of I-205 North. They are negotiating with them. Traffic is getting by, but as you can see there, it's moving very slowly. Well, from the Glen Jackson Bridge to the I-5 bridge, and word of a massive funding boost to help replace the Interstate Bridge. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tim Gordon. The $600 million federal grant brings Washington and Oregon one step closer to funding the $6 billion project. Catherine Cook talked with lawmakers and drivers also about what's next. Catherine?
Well, Tim, the grant proposal that got this funding paints this latest bridge project as a win for the country, not just Oregon and Washington. It's a chance, they say, to support regional economic growth and improve international trade routes. That, and people are just tired of sitting in traffic. Rush hour on the Interstate Bridge. Let's be honest.
This is just getting worse.
And there are so many rush hours to choose from. AM, PM, even weekend fun hours too. Take it from Britt Hamilton.
You're not going to get through, but we're used to it. I've been here 13 years, so.
Funny thing about 13 years ago, that's when the last effort to replace the bridge was in full swing. Remember the Columbia River crossing? Trish McCann does.
They've been talking about it for years, and I really thought it was going to happen about 15, 16 years ago, but
it didn't. The CRC, as they called it, failed after spending $175 million. The biggest reason? Washington didn't approve $450 million in funding, largely based on objections to including light rail. But this is a new day and a new project acronym, IBR. It stands for the Interstate Bridge Replacement. On Friday, the effort got a major boost. The Department of Transportation awarded Washington State a $600 million grant for the new bridge.
Oh my gosh, so excited for our region, for our state.
Washington Senator Maria Cantwell is thrilled. She notes this is the first sizable federal investment in the Interstate Bridge Replacement Project and something the CRC never came close to getting.
This is like a validation that the federal government is serious about being a partner with Oregon and Washington and getting this done.
As impressive as the grant looks on paper, it's just a drop in the bridge's budget bucket. The whole project is expected to cost somewhere between $5 and $7 billion. The project team plans to split the bill between Washington and Oregon. Each state has already put in about $200 million combined and pledged another $1 billion each. Also, tolling from drivers should bring in around $1.2 billion. That leaves about $2.5 billion that'll need to come from federal sources.
What we need to do now is get the planning and construction efforts underway. And my sense is that more federal dollars will flow under those applications that the city of Vancouver and others have applied for.
Cantwell says if all goes to plan, construction on the new Interstate Bridge should begin in 2026 and be done in about 5 to 7 years. In the meantime,
you've got to pick the right time to use the bridge.
It is what it is.
We love Portland, Vancouver, it's all good.
In North Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
A Yamhill County Sheriff's deputy is facing some concerning charges tonight that may be a little hard to hear about. David Mills is accused of exposing himself in the sheriff's office, masturbating in his patrol car, and engaging in other lewd acts. Court documents say he also posted videos and photos of himself exposing himself online while in uniform. The incidents allegedly happened from January of 2022 to August of this year. According to the statement from the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office, they found out about it from a community member tip this past September. Deputy Mills has been on leave since then. He faces 12 criminal charges and will now undergo an internal investigation. Well, to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, fire broke out at the McMenamins Grand Lodge in Forest Grove tonight. Several neighbors called 911 just before 6 to report large flames there. Turns out the fire was in a shop separate from the hotel and restaurant. Crews kept it contained, even with one big concern.
There was a large, probably 1,000-gallon gas tank that was used for an emergency generator. That was probably 5 feet from the building.
Well, thankfully, the fuel tank did not catch fire, and no one in the hotel part of the property was impacted. The shop, which contains some furniture and equipment, was destroyed. Well, a controversial homeless shelter in Northwest Portland could close by the start of the new year. It's now up to the city of Portland to take over the River District Navigation Center. Neighbors have complained of threatening encounters with people using the center, and even the nonprofit that leases out the site says it's not being run well. If the city doesn't find a way to keep it open, about 100 people would end up back on the streets. And there was another legal win today for the Oregon State and Washington State universities. The Washington Supreme Court decided to give both schools full control of the remaining assets of the Pac-12 that are potentially worth millions of dollars. The Supreme Court declined to review the appeal, leaving in place a lower court's ruling. That ruling said that the 10 departing schools lost their right to be part of the conference's decision-making board when they announced they were joining new leagues. Well, Portland police will be able to chase suspects more often because of a change in policy that the Bureau announced today. This affects vehicle pursuits. The previous policy only allowed officers to chase people accused of felony person crimes or in extraordinary circumstances. In 30 days under the new policy, they'll be able to pursue suspects accused of lower-level felonies. They will still need to consider factors like the suspect's location, speed, and criminal charges to make sure a chase won't put the community members in danger.
But we will, as I said, do careful evaluation of every event and weigh, the effectiveness. Are we able to, see a decrease in the number of, stolen cars or successful, burglary arrests or things, maybe, a decrease in speed racing because they know that there's some intentionality now behind our actions that we didn't have before, or that we have some authority that we didn't have before.
Well, Chief Day says the chase policy will mainly apply to missions like when teams of officers go after stolen vehicles. All right, we're coming into a big pre-holiday weekend. A lot of folks going to be out going shopping and just having some fun. Matt Safino's here with what to expect. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Tim, thanks so much. Yeah, it's a pretty nice night out there, certainly in the Portland area. East winds are blowing, a generally clear sky, though. The winds have actually settled down quite a bit, and they'll continue to weaken overnight. And while that sounds good, it is a bit of a problem in other parts of the valley because it is leading to fog and some really thick fog. Not in the metro area because we're still getting mixing some east wind above us right now. But down the valley, look at this. Visibility is down to a quarter mile in Corvallis and an eighth of a mile in Eugene. So thick fog there. Be aware of that if you're driving in the morning. We will have a mild, dry weekend, which will be great for those doing some last-minute holiday shopping. East winds are weakening, as I mentioned. The question is, where's the snow? Both for the mountains and people starting asking me about a white Christmas, too. We'll answer those questions in a bit. Tim, back to you.
All right, Matt, thanks a lot. Well, a Portland street is once again exemplifying the Christmas spirit. A lot of people are going to be checking this out this weekend. The homeowners on Peacock Lane have been decorating for the holiday for nearly 100 years. This was the first night the lights were on in full force this season, and the place was packed. Our Sydney Dorner got a look at what it takes to make the street shine.
It's just it's a lovely time, especially the first week.
This will be Kelly Walker Jeffers' 15th Christmas celebrating with her family on Peacock Lane.
You can't really escape, so you just spend a lot of time together for 2 weeks and had a lot of fun with, you put your lawn chairs out here and just kind of gawk at all of the people walking by.
We've always appreciated Christmas. We never thought we would live on Portland's Christmas streets.
Sarah Naughton says she just moved into the neighborhood 2 years ago.
It's a little time consuming getting all the lights back in there.
And new Peacock Lane was lovely to visit.
But living here, seeing the crowds of people come by night after night, the laughter, the squeals of like, narwhal, it's like the most adorable thing in the world.
People go, oh, you live on Peacock Lane? You know, it's instant, boom, Christmas lights.
Neighbors living on the street say the requirement to decorate is more verbal, and if anyone isn't able to decorate, then they help each other out. They also have the first 3 nights closed off from vehicles so visitors can walk freely and get a close-up view of the displays.
A lot of people care about the community here.
Ellen Leatham says she's been in the neighborhood with her kids for over 40 years.
And they would sing, and as long as they sang beautifully, when they got tired, they could wander back to the kiosk and be presented with cocoa and supported with cocoa. So they'd come down and get sugared up at Peacock. We really love the neighborhood, and we love the people who come and go and discover that it's a donation to the city to live on this street. It really is a gift.
Peacock Lane will stay open until December 31st. And by the way, it's not just for people. Dogs are welcome too. They suggest taking TriMet as a way to avoid traffic and say for those driving through next week, just to be respectful of homeowners nearby. Sydney Dorner, KGW News.